Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 2025 Cloud Fitness, 5 AWS fitness hacks that saves at least 15% per month for a lot of companies that we have worked with. I'm your host, Praneet Chandra, and today's agenda will first go through a very quick introduction from my side, and Tej, who's my co-host today. Hi, Tej, how are you doing?
Yeah, hi Praneeth. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. So just to summarize, the agenda for today's webinar is we'll take a very short brief about what is CloudKeeper, what we do at CloudKeeper. We'll talk about a big thing that we all are concerned about, the hidden drain in our cloud, right? Like the amount of money that is going through the drains and how do we look at it? And then need for a cloud fitness plan. So in 2025, one thing that we learned was from our all the years of experience doing cloud cost optimization is, hey, yes, we do cloud cost optimization, but it doesn't work like a regimented plan. So how can we create a fitness plan, right? How do we create a fitness plan for ourselves in a similar way, have a fitness plan for cloud? And then Tej will shed lights on what is his fitness formula, how he has made like 400 plus customers at CloudKeeper successful with their fitness formula. Moving on with that, I'm Praneet Chandra. I'm Senior Director at CloudKeeper. I work on cloud economics, basically helping companies like yours to drive the maximum ROI from cloud investment. And with me is Tejprakash, who's the Associate Director for Product Engineering, takes care of our both product lines, CloudKeeper Lens and CloudKeeper Tuner. Over to you, Tej.
Good morning, guys. So, as Praneeth said, my name is Tejprakash Sharma, and currently I'm working on those two products in CloudKeeper. One is the CloudKeeper Lens, which is the CloudKeeper visibility tool, and the second one is CloudKeeper Tuner, which is usage-based recommendations, automations, and your scheduling your non-production environments, and some more use cases there.
Great. Thank you, Tej. Yeah. And I think we should be able to help a lot of our folks on this call today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So, just in short snippet, what is CloudKeeper? I will make sure that we do not spend a lot of time over here, but just want to help you understand that we are an end-to-end cloud cost optimization partner offering instant savings, visibility, and unlimited FinOps support and consulting. And all of it comes at a zero cost, zero effort, and zero commitment from your front. So, what does that mean? We do not charge you anything for any kind of cloud consulting and support as such. If you've got any questions, why? You can always ping me on the chat and very happy to answer that. But what we have achieved, we have been in this business for 15 years and worked with over 400 plus customers. And on average, we have saved somewhere between 15 to 20% for our customers, depends on what are their spend sizes. And we work with customers of all shapes and sizes, right from their monthly bills could be right $10,000 to all the way to $500,000 per month. We've got customers of all shapes and sizes across the world where we help them save costs on their cloud on a continuous basis. How we do that? We do that through our five constructs. One is rate optimization, that is basically helping you with discounted like pricing without having to do any commitment through power of group buying. We do usage optimization where we generate over 100 plus automated actions on 50 plus AWS services. We also have our own visibility and reporting platform to get the entire company on the same page, because if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. And we have a large team of 125 plus AWS certified solution and GCP certified solution architects who can help you with any kind of queries around migration. You want to experiment with new services, whether it is Bedrock, whether it is EKS or anything, we can always help you with all kind of POCs as well as implementation best practices. And all of us get supported by something that we are very proud of is 24 cross 7 personalized cloud consulting and advisory, where we help you answer any kind of questions on your cloud needs as such. So it's not just about cost optimization. If you are struggling with performance, if you're struggling with, hey, what is the best solution for my architecture to move from monolith to microservice or other things, we are very happy to help you on that front as well. So that is all in all CloudKeeper. So big question today. We are all lost in jungle of cloud waste, and it's not just me that is saying it. If you look at report, and I'm pretty sure all of us use Perplexity, have heard of it, including all the generative AI. It's a big thing in 2025, right? And one of the key things that we saw in Perplexity's recent report that they earned 30 million by spending 48 million on cloud infrastructure. So it was actually a negative EBITDA, and this was almost close to their payroll, including R&D payroll. So we always saw the trend where the payroll was number one expenditure for the companies, and then the cloud cost was. but generative AI is changing everything. We are seeing more and more companies even spending a lot more on cloud because of models and everything and the agentic workflows, and that is actually causing a lot of drain. In fact, it's not just Perplexity. We have a lot more reports. Alchemer found 29,000 per month just in unused storage volume. StackBlitz almost collapsed due to infrastructure costs, where they did not understand what is their cost per business metric and they could not price their product better. So it is all around. In fact, we had a customer that recently signed up. I cannot name it for basis, but yeah, they were like spending 160K dollars per month on cloud on AWS, where roughly 44% of it was a cloud waste. $44,000 was almost a cloud waste on it. And they were thinking like, hey, we can just switch to another platform. Like, let's move from AWS to GCP. They are giving a lot of credits. But the reality is, yes, you might get credit. Credits are just like substance abuse. Yeah, you get started on it, but yeah, you can never go out of it, right? So it's always important for us to understand how we actually are spending on cloud. What is our cost per business metric? Can I really measure it so that I can price my product better, so that my customers can use my product better? And I understand that ROI of cloud is happening well. Moving on, yeah. So cloud waste is real and it's costly. So you are not alone in this, right? Most of the high growth teams, most of the high growth companies that we work around in ISVs, in digital native businesses, what we have seen, the second biggest expense that they have is always cloud, right? When we talk about the second biggest expense, the first expense is definitely payroll, though we just saw what happened in Perplexity's case where their biggest spend was cloud, but the second was payroll. But yeah, traditionally we have seen like 60% goes into payroll salaries, but then 20-25% goes just on the cloud cost or infrastructure as such. So it's 20-30% of your operating cost. So every 1% you save is actually 1% that your company adds into their EBITDA or 1% into their bottom margin. With that, I would like to put up a poll together, right, where I would like to learn how much of a cloud waste happens at your company. What do you think? I know you might not have a perfect answer, but do you have an answer for it, right? Do you have an idea, a sense check of what it looks like? So you have a poll on the screen. You can choose that, and then we'll have the results shortly. I think we'll just give it another minute or 30 seconds before we can close that. I think we can close the poll and see the results. Yeah, great. So what we are hearing, 10 to 15% or 5 to 10%, I think that's lower one is what we are seeing as cloud waste. Great. I think you're definitely in that ballpark. That's what we keep on seeing with companies. Around 15 to 20% is what cloud waste that happens. Sometimes it's also those hidden cloud wastes that we all ignore, right? In fact, one of our recent report, we found out even 97% of the respondents didn't knew that, okay, there was this hidden cloud cost that they were paying for it. And that takes me to my next slide. Our analysis of 400 plus cloud teams, right? 97% of the teams did miss out the critical savings. And these critical savings were not, right, something around that's on a hidden service because you've got so many services and POCs happening on AWS. But these services were somewhere that were commonly used, like your EC2, your EBS, your RDS, your data transfer costs. And then even the most careful teams, right? The teams that were always having a cloud data sprint sitting every now and then, they also could miss out a lot of savings, right? Whether it was data transfer, whether it was not having the right S3 policies to move from bucket into Glacier and other things, right? So it's not about having a lot of dashboards. You can have Power BIs of the world, Tableaus of the world sitting there. But like, hey, if you cannot really act on it, it actually that's where it becomes challenging. So what we offer is Cloud Fitness Challenge, right, at CloudKeeper. What we do, we have a 30-day challenge to help you build cloud apps. That's how we like to call it, right? To basically cut your cloud waste, get your AWS in shapes. It is designed for startups and DNBs and ISVs just like yours, right? To control the infra costs. It includes deep dive analysis, engineering enablement, and real saving strategies. So once you sign up to the Cloud Fitness Challenge, we'll help you analyze your infrastructure and build out a full-blown report that will help you actually do that. And what you will achieve will help you have the maximum performance at the lowest cost, at least 15% of the savings happening on AWS, and it will help you empower your engineers. And obviously, lesser the cloud costs, lesser the burn is, or less the carbon impact is. So we help you even improve your carbon efficiency as such. How we do that? So what we are doing a three-part webinar and the entire Cloud Fitness Challenge. The first one that is happening today. The second one is a demo day on 19th of June, where we are actually doing a demo of CloudKeeper Tuner, our flagship product that we released a couple of months back, how it can actually empower your engineering teams in real time to help you reduce cloud costs. And then on July 10th, we'll also help you with real world applications and customer wins. So you can hear directly from the customers who have actually had significant impact using CloudKeeper Tuner in their infrastructure and the kind of savings that they have generated. So save the date. We'll also send you the link on this chat as well, where you can sign up to all these webinars as well, right? So for today's session, what I'll do is I'll take up my favorite Silicon Valley series called as Pied Piper. I think all of you must have heard of it, right? I've literally created their story. They're like fast-growing AI startup. Their bills have moved from $10,000, $20,000 to 70,000. And what are the five things that they did in order to crush down their costs, right? And that's a playbook, right? So what is Pied Piper? Pied Piper is a cloud-native AI company. It could be SaaS, riding the hyper-growth wave. They have moved their costs from $12,000 to $45,000 per month in just 6 months. They have a lot of things happening, moving from monolith, EC2s, ASG to ECS to EKS, replatforming. They're migrating some of their services are monolith, few of them are ECS. They're moving to EKS. Business booming, but margins tanking, similar to what we saw earlier at Perplexity. And our favorite CTO Dinesh and CFO Monica are always at head on that. Hey, is it a finance problem? It's an engineering problem. We don't know, right? And they are now tasked together in order to solve it, right? So they are fictional, but their challenges are very real and shared by hundred of cloud native teams. At this point of time, I would like to have another poll to learn more. What are your challenges, right? So what are the key challenges you face on your AWS setup? It could be overall visibility, granular visibility based on tax environment, recommendations for optimization, implementation of these optimization, and cloud support and advisory, right? So go ahead, choose the options that you think are relevant for you and your company. We'll have exact 30, 45 minutes. We have another 30 seconds and then we can close the poll. I think the time is up. Let's put in some data. Oh, wow, interesting. It's a quite a distribution, implementation of optimization, cloud advisory, granular visibility, overall visibility. I think we are going to cover all of it right in this webinar, right? So don't worry about it. Let's get on to that. So let's me present you the playbook that changed the scenario for Pied Piper. So what we have seen, teams like Pied Piper get stuck on skyrocketing costs, disconnect between finance and tech. The CTO and CFO always think that's your problem, none of my problem, and also complex migration. So what we are going to do is we are going to show you a 5-step plan that helped Pied Piper save on AWS. And that has also helped over 400 plus cloud native teams at CloudKeeper cut more than 15% costs each month. With that, I'll pass it on to Tej. Tej, over to you. Help us with these 5 fitness moves, right? And the first fitness move is right in front of you, right? So go ahead, Tej, and I'll be your clicker through this. Yeah.
Thanks, Praneet. So in the cloud fitness, it's a 5-step process. So the first step is the visibility first. You should track your costs just like you track your calories. So like if you are a fitness enthusiast person and you track each and everything in your body, so same thing you should go with your cloud as well. You should track each and every dollar cost that you are spending on your infrastructure. Visibility is not just about dashboard, it is about making every dollar in AWS bill traceable. So as I said, that whatever spend that you are having in your cloud, you should be able to track that this amount is where I'm using this amount, where I'm spending this amount. You should be able to track this. So for this, the first thing is track resources by team, project, and environment. So you should have a tagging strategy for your infrastructure, whether you are running multiple environments or you are running multiple applications. You should tag those resources in different categories, and you should be tagging each and every resource so that once you get your bill, you will be able to divide that bill in different teams and different projects and different environment. It shouldn't be like that, because generally when you receive a cloud bill, it gives this aggregation at the service level. But let's say if you say that your EC2 spend is 15,000, right, but that is not sufficient. You want to know that, okay, what's the breakup of that 15k in like how much I'm spending in which environment, in which team, in which project, right? The second is the detailed cost allocation dashboard. So generally we get the monthly bill, right? But that is not sufficient to track your overall infrastructure cost. You should have some detailed dashboards. For example, you should have some daily breakup dashboards in which you will be able to track what's your daily cost, what's the spike days in your bill, and so that you can take action accordingly. If there is any provision of optimizations, you can take actions. And if there is actually like some heat days where you know that okay, I spent some extra resources, so that is the reason I have high cost on those specific days. And the third is like visualize spend by unit economics. Like whatever you are spending, you should aware about that. Okay, if let's say you have 10 different features or 10 different functionalities in your applications or product, then you should be aware, okay, like how much I'm spending on which feature, so that you will be able to track your spend according to your business model as well, so that you know that okay, I'm spending more on this service and I'm making money as well, then it is okay. But if you are spending too much on some specific service and you are not making any money, then you can revisit and see that okay, do we cut down some cost or anything else. You can take that decision from that. So this is like one of the dashboards, the data transfer dashboard, which is available in the Lens. This gives you like your data transfer cost at the hourly level. So let's say you have some spikes in your data transfer cost, but it is not possible to track those spikes through the monthly or through the daily breakup. But through the hourly breakup, you will be able to track, okay, if you are taking some backups, or let's say someone is downloading some heavy data from the S3, then you can identify those spikes and you can optimize those things with different actions. But at least you should aware about that, what's the reason of those spikes and how can I identify those spikes at specific day or a specific hour. And we have like multiple dashboards available on the Lens for different services, where you can track your hourly cost and identify and track your overall cost.
I think before that stage, I think we do have a question. And folks, if you have got any questions all through this webinar, please use the Q&A option that you see on the Zoom and type in your question. I think we do have one question, but yeah, more questions are welcome. I'll probably answer after the first fitness move that Tej covers. Sorry, Tej, breaking your flow over here.
Got it. Yeah. So as I said in the first point, that you should tag your resources so that you will be able to see that okay, what's your total spend and what's the breakup of the total spend in different environments or applications that you are running. So Lens provides you tag dashboard in which whatever like tagging strategy that you are using in your cloud, you can just create the report from those tags and it will show you the breakup of that cost on those tag values. And you further can compare like what's the daily cost on those different environments, what's the like month on month comparison between those different tags that you are using. And you can publish multiple tag reports, like there is a tag called environment, there's a tag called workload, application owner, and depending on your tagging strategy that you have. But it's like 2-minute task to create a tag report on the Lens, and you can enjoy the feature of the different tags that you have.
Before we move on to the second fitness, I think there's a question one of the attendees have asked: why is it better to cut down on waste and get our cost allocation right instead of just slashing expense? How does this help us in long run? I think Tej has very well answered that, right? If you understand your cost per business metric, right? How much does a particular service actually cost you? You can actually go back and think about the pricing, right? This is critically important for go-to-market teams, for finance teams to like understand how and what is actually causing the cost as compared to just telling, hey, our AWS bill is like $50,000 a month. But why? Nobody has a clue. So I think it is always good to understand the cost allocation. You can do create tags and you can use CloudKeeper Lens to view the cost by all of the different tags, by different environment, by different services. Even if you have got different customers running on different set of clusters, why not tag those clusters so that you can understand when you are billing these customers, you are billing the right thing, right? So that is how it is better to cut down on waste and get our cost allocation right instead of just slashing expenses left, right, and center. Yeah.
Second move is commit smart and save without shackle. So generally in the commitment we talk about the reserve instances, but the thing is that reserve instance comes with the commitment. I mean, you have to stick with whatever the commitment or reservation that you have done for at least for 1 year or the 3 year, right? I mean, let's say a company needs a flexibility. They want to enjoy the reservation pricing and they want the flexibility as well, where they can change the instance type, operating system, or the region anytime without any commitment, and they will get the benefit as well. So in that scenario, CloudKeeper is the right choice, because CloudKeeper gives you a flexibility where if you route your bill with the CloudKeeper, it will give you 1 year RI and CSP discount on your on-demand spend. You don't need to commit anything. It's a zero commitment. You run your instances as you go, and you will get the RI discount on your on-demand spend that you are having in your cloud. And you'll get the on-demand agility as well. Anytime, if you, let's say AWS launched a new series of instances where you are getting better performance, but if you have committed a reservation, then you have to wait to finish that reservation first, and then you will be able to upgrade with the latest generation to get the performance benefit. But here in the CloudKeeper, there is no restrictions. You have full freedom to change your instance type and upgrade to the latest generation, get the benefit of the performance, and CloudKeeper will take care of the discounts on those new generation instance automatically. And if you are ready to for a bulk rate discount, like if you are using CloudFront or let's say S3, then yes, CloudKeeper provides the discount rate on those services as well. Shift left on the cloud cost, make engineers the first line of defense. So generally what happens is that generally engineers are who are working on the applications, who are developing the applications, who are deploying the applications, are not aware about the cost, because they don't have access to the cost part, where like at the month end they will get a report kind of thing in which they get that okay, that's the total bill and everything. But like on the regular day-to-day basis, they will not be able to track, like if they have deployed something new application or they have made some changes in the existing application, there will be no way to track the cost, like what's the impact of that deployment, of that change in overall performance and cost both, right? But Lens gives you the flexibility where the engineers can track their cost on the regular basis at the real time, and they will be able to see that what's the impact of any change in the application or the infra. And the thing is that generally people don't think about the cost when they design and deploy or develop any new thing. They first design, deploy, and then once your bill is there, then they will look at the bill and then they identify, okay, the bill is pretty high, we need to take some actions to reduce the bill and everything. So this is like ongoing process. As the second point is saying that make cost part of definition of done. So your definition of done should not be like deploying on the production environment. It should be you track the cost as well, whatever you are deploying on your production environment, whether it's a new application or any change in the existing applications. And set budget alerts at the team for feature level, and you enable the engineers so that they can track and they can monitor the cost as well through the budget alerts. They can set up their budget alerts on their application, on their environment, so that if there is any spike in the cost, then at the real time they can take action, instead of at the month end once the bill is generated, then they see and then they realize that okay, the bill is pretty high, we need to take some action to reduce it. And that obviously that will be applicable for the next month. The bill has been already generated, because in the Lens, as I said, that it provides an option to create a budget alert. You can create the daily budget alert, you can create a monthly budget alert, you can set up a budget alert on some specific service, on some specific account ID, or on some specific region. Even you can set a budget alert on some environment and applications as well, using the tag reports that you have created in the Lens.
Tej, I've got one question. When we exceed the budget alerts, can we also get some kind of notification? Does CloudKeeper Lens provide that as well?
Yes. So whatever budget alert that you will set, they provides you email notification, the Slack notification. Email is generally so that you can see that, okay, what are the different budget alerts that have been breached in last 1 week or so. And like Slack is pretty handful, because developer use Slack a lot during their development and the deployment things. And if they get the real-time alerts on their Slack, that will be pretty helpful for them to take action immediately. Fourth is pretty important, like optimization on autopilot. So the thing is that, let's say you are tracking your cost and you have identified that okay, my bill is high, but what actions do I need to take to reduce that bill? There is no like direct way available on the cloud. You have the domain knowledge of the cloud, and you have to invest a lot of time to identify what are the action items that I can take to reduce my overall cost. And if let's say your infrastructure is pretty big, you have multiple AWS accounts, then it will be pretty hard because you need to log in on each and every account and identify what are the resources on which I can reduce the cost and everything. So here comes the tuner. So tuner gives you the usage based recommendation in which you just give the read only access of your AWS account, and within 2 to 3 minutes it will fetch the recommendations from your account and it will give you the recommendations at the real time, right? So it gives you your idle resources recommendations. Let's say you have created the load balancers for some microservices and all, you have deleted those microservices but your load balancer is still there. It will flag those load balancers which are idle. You are using, let's say, RDS or elastic cache, but let's say you have removed or stopped your infrastructure but your elastic cache and RDS still running, then it will automatically identify if there is no new connection on your elastic cache or RDS instances. It will start giving those as a recommendation. These are your idle resources, and you can save this amount of dollar value if you take this action on this recommendation. So you don't need to log in on different accounts. You don't need to drill down in each and every service in each and every region. It's a single dashboard that gives you all the recommendations at one place. The second is the right sizing. You are using at the time of new application deployment, you are not confirm about which instance type is best suited for my this applications. So you go with some mid-size instances, but later on we don't go back and check that whether this instance that we are running is the right size instance or not, whether we are spending more but the utilization of that instance is pretty low. So tuner gives you the right sizing recommendation as well. In that it will track the usage of last 15 or 30 days of that specific resource, and it will give you recommendations according to your usage. It might possible you're using M series or C series, and let's say your application is more memory extensive. In that case, it will give a recommendation to move your application on the R series instance where you are getting more memory as compared to the C series and the M series. And the last thing is, let's say you have identified all those recommendations, but action is again a time taking process, because let's say I have identified 10 different idle resources in 3 different AWS account, right? And those resources are distributed in different regions, right? Then it's again a tedious task to go in each and every account and take action on those recommendations. So tuner gives you a flexibility where from the console itself you can directly go and take action against your recommendation which are visible on the tuner and get the immediate savings in just within a minute with just few clicks.
Before we move any further, I think we've got two questions that I would like to answer just to get people's quick answer. It came one on Move 3. I think it was how can we set up a smarter process to spot billing issues and anomalies in the cloud and keep everyone engineering, finance, and tech in the loop? So I think we can use cloud budget alerts, right? Can you deep dive into it once again, how we can do that?
So let's say if you are running your infrastructure where you have distributed your load into on-demand and spot instances, you can set up a budget alert. Okay, I know that my total bill is, let's say, X, and I will only spend 20% on the on-demand. Rest should be running on the spot instances. You can set up a budget alert on the 20% of on-demand, and whenever your on-demand cost increase from 20%, it will give you budget alert where it will tell that, okay, your on-demand spend is more than this threshold, so that you can take action at the spot and you can optimize your spot cost.
Thank you, Tej. I think there's another one, and I think you will cover it in the next slide, but I will just put the question: can AI-based platforms keep up with rapid pace of cloud usage? What impact does automation have on reducing time spent on managing cloud waste?
Yeah, so I will just finish this and then we'll answer this question. So as I said that CloudKeeper tuner will provide the recommendation. So these type of recommendation you will get, it will show you in which account, what's the resource ID, in which region, and what's the potential saving that you will get, and what's the reason of we are showing this load balancer as an idle, whether you are having no target groups attached to your load balancer or you have targets and everything, but there is no connection or new request is coming on your load balancer for last, let's say, 15 or 30 days. So on the basis of that, it gives a recommendation. It gives you the action as well. What action do you need to take? Whether in few cases it will show you to delete that resources. In few cases it will tell you to migrate from this instance to this instance in case of the right sizing. Yeah, so this is the first screenshot is from the right sizing, where it tells you max CPU utilization, memory utilization for let's say last 15 plus days. And on the basis of that, it will give you the action as well. Like you should migrate from this instance to this instance, and what's the potential saving that you will receive when you take this action. And the second screenshot is like once you identify the recommendations, then when you are ready to take the actions, then from the tuner itself, you can, take actions again, your recommendation. For example, you have some idle resources that you want to delete, then you just select those resources and remediate those resources with few clicks in within a minute or two. So I will answer the question first before moving on the last point. So tuner is pretty good example in this case. You don't need to log in each and every account, identify the recommendations. This tool itself will scan all your AWS account in different region, all your resources on the daily basis, and it will keep giving you new recommendations on the basis of your usage pattern. And also, if you are ready to take action against those recommendations, it gives you an automation to remediate those recommendations as well. It is not like it is only giving the recommendation. Now action is the manual part on the customer side. It is giving the automation around the actions as well, so that it's like overall, if you say that if you are okay, you want to review a recommendation and you are ready to take the action, then it's 5-minute task to review your recommendation and take action and get the instant saving.
Thanks, Sage. I think that answers the question.
So the last and final move is shift up, make cost KPI. So we talked about in the first move as well, where we say that tag everything, tag your environments, tag your team, tag your features. Sometimes like that, if you are running microservice architecture where you are running multiple microservices, whether it's on ECS or EKS, you are running different services for different role, right? So if you want to track down the cost of each and every service so that you can track like how much I'm spending on what service, which is doing those 4 or 5 different things, right? So that it is not like that your EKS bill is, let's say, 10K or 15K. You can split that 10-15K into the service wise as well. In the EKS, let's say I have some payment services, I have some login services. You know that, okay, how much I'm spending on my payment service, how much I'm spending on my login service and all. And on the basis of that, you can take further action. Create cost to value maps. As I said in the first point as well, you should be able to track your cost on the basis of product feature. If you have, let's say, 5 different microservices for 5 different product features or 5 different business unit, you will be able to track cost of each business unit. It is not like that your overall like microservices bill is this, but you have no idea about like on which service or on which feature or in which business unit I'm spending how much. So you will be able to get that container cost as well, through which you will be able to get those things as well. And integrate cloud cost metrics into the strategic planning as well. Whenever you are doing some strategic planning, you should consider the lens and the tuner both into your planning phase, so that you can use those dashboards, whether it's a daily dashboard or hourly dashboards, to create an action plan for your overall cloud spend management and optimizations. Like dashboard I was talking about, let's say if you're running EKS, you are running multiple namespaces, multiple clusters, it gives you like breakup of each and every cluster, each and every namespace, and like what are the different instance type that you are running, what are the different regions that you are running. It gives you the breakup at each level. And further, if you want to drill down, it will give you a complete list of resources in a table as well, where you can, if you want to do some manual reporting and thing, you can use that table or the sheet as well for your reporting purpose.
I think, Tej, we have another question as well on this one. Does more visibility or better cost allocation help us make smart choices when we are scaling up on our cloud resource? I think the answer is yes. I think I don't need Tej to answer that. Yeah. So what you can do is if you can really understand these cost breakups very well, right? And the allocation that is happening across all the different tasks, all the different environment, all the business metric, right, that Tej was mentioning earlier. If you understand that, yes, you know when you are doubling down, when you are building a new feature for a particular enhancement, right, what is going to be the cost basis as such. So that is your answer right there. Coming to the part, this is strategy. You can skip the struggle. The playbooks here, the problem is, will your team make a move, right? And that's a big question. So are your teams ready today in order to make the move, in order to really start saving on the costs? And we are very happy to help you with that. The key 5 key takeaways, right? You should know your cost per business metric. I think in 2025, It's one of the big problems to solve, especially with generative AI, with AI agentic workflow coming into every part of our product. All of us are really bothered towards it. We need to understand what is cost per business metric. Every time somebody runs a workflow, every time somebody does a model invocation, what is actually cost us? Empowering engineers with real-time cost data. Yes, this is the number one thing. Cost Explorer and other products are really difficult to build out reports on. We really build out all the dashboards that your engineering and finance team actually really needs on day-to-day basis to understand that, and we help you with that. Avoid lock-ins. The industry is moving fast. We are just scratching the surface on generative AI and whole lot of new AI infra. I think I would really recommend to avoiding any kind of lock-in. Go for flexibility as much you can. You can also hit us up offline. We can help you look at your bills and help you understand how we can keep you commitment free at the same time give you commitment like benefit. And then automating cost optimization. You should not wait for like, hey, one fine day, one of my senior most engineer will get free and then he will go and clean up the infrastructure. No, there's nobody who's waiting for it. Empower every engineer in your organization through CloudKeeper Tuner. They can click on this, auto remediate it. We have these playbooks, AWS runbooks tested on over 400 plus customers. We know they work seamlessly. You can do it. So whether it is intern, I would not say intern, but a junior software engineer or a senior most, anyone can actually equip to reduce the cloud costs. And the last and the most important thing, and I keep preaching about it, it feels like I've been preaching about it for very long. The cost should be part of your team's DNA, right? It's not just about shipping features. I think shipping features with efficient code base is great, but shipping feature with efficient code base and efficient cloud costs is even greater. So that is a flex that your engineering and your organization should always carry. So that is all the key takeaways from the 5 key hacks. And then we'll also send you the guidebook as well. So if you're registered for this webinar, you'll also get the guidebook as well. Yeah. So are you ready to start your Cloud Fitness Challenge? What we have a live demo day of CloudKeeper Tuner where we are going to show you how we can save 15% for a particular customer in just 15 minutes. And that is going to help you out 2x your speed. You also get a free copy of your AWS Fitness Plan comprehensive guide. We'll also drop the link of webinar too. You can right away register for that. You can also take our 30-day Cloud Fitness Challenge. It's absolutely free. There's no cost, no caveat attached to it, no sales, nothing. You can come to cloudfitnesschallenge.com, Cloud Fitness Challenge, and you can actually take a 30 days challenge. All you need to do is sign up, connect your AWS accounts, we'll take a read-only access and build out a full-blown assessment report for you to save cloud costs on it. And yes, get your fitness scorecard with that. So what we'll do is we'll create a fitness scorecard for you. We'll help you not with just bunch of recommendations that you will be like, okay, thank you for giving me another recommendation. Now I have to figure out who to implement. Our product can also very well help you to remediate that. Plus, we can give you white glove service in order to do so. Right. So that is all. We are all ready for helping you make your cloud fit and ready for 2025. Right. And we wish you a big savings ahead. Very happy to take any questions at this point of time. We still have like 7, 8 minutes left with our webinar. And I think there are some questions that are pouring in. Let's try to answer them. I think the next one is cost and performance are two important factors that needs to be balanced. Even with a platform, how much time and effort will go into this since that impacts performance of cloud infrastructure. I think Tej, this is for you. I think you have been implementing very closely CloudKeeper Tuner. Can you tell us some real world stories, right? How much of performance has factored in versus the cost? What has been your experience?
Cost and the performance are like two important factors, and like as Praneet mentioned that okay, it is like developers responsibility to ship any new feature with the great code with the great performance, but it is the with the same thing it's a responsibility to with the cost optimization as well. Frankly speaking, like if you don't have the tools like the tuner or the lens, then generally people make it a like monthly exercise where like once in a month or like twice in a month they review their AWS infrastructure and identify the cost optimization thing. But through the lens and the tuner, it is like you can add in your daily stand-ups where you can see that okay, my overall cost is okay now, no action is required, recommendations is fine, everything is fine. But at the real time, if you get some recommendation and take same time, you can take action and remediate those recommendation and optimize your overall cloud.
Great. Thank you, Tej. The next question that you have is have you seen some real benefits coming out of usage optimization? I think we have a lot of benefits, but Tej, would you like to put in some stories, some customer stories that you have seen of late? Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the case was pretty common is generally people say that, okay, they are using, let's say RDS or Elastic Cache. I covered into the idle resources as well. So recently we got a case where customer is saying that, okay, I'm using Elastic Cache, but you are showing this as a idle resource. How can you show as a idle resource? I am using it. I can see the connections and everything. Then we explained that, okay, you are using this Elastic Cache, but just you are making the connection with this Elastic Cache. You are not making any request on that Elastic Cache. You are not setting up anything on the Elastic Cache. You are not getting any, because we monitor the right metrics. The connection is not the right metrics. The right metrics is like how much set or get, or like how much data you are setting or getting from those Elastic Cache. If you are not setting and getting any data in last 15 days or let's say 3 weeks, then it's an idle resource according to us. I mean, you should check with your developer whether why they are just connected Elastic Cache with their application but they are not using it. So like these are common usage optimization that we generally get when we deal with different customers.
Thank you, Tej. We're looking for any more questions that you have. Feel free to even send it in chat. I'm very happy to answer it as well. Yeah, just to let you know, the webinar 2 link is right in the chat, the webinar chat. You can click on it. It's on 19 June, very much same time. I will be joined along with two other experts who have been doing usage optimization for a very long time. I'll be showing you live demo how you can actually reduce cloud cost, and I'll take up a real world customer example. That's a real world challenge that I'm going to show you. So not just about looking through the slides. And then there's a webinar 3 as well, where you can hear the live testimonials from several beneficiaries of Cloud Fitness Challenge, and that link will send it to you in a couple of days. So if you're registered for this webinar, don't worry, you'll get both of them in your inbox. Just stay tuned, yeah, for that one. We don't have any other question, Tej. It has been wonderful. Thank you, Tej, for helping us with 5 fitness moves today. Right. And thank you everyone who joined us on this webinar today. Have a good one. And we'll see you again on June 19th. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.